Welcome back
to Marriage Beyond the Veil.
Well, one of the things that I think is important to address when you are privy to someone else's relationship, right? Mm-hmm. And when I say privy, you're observing. Mm-hmm. And there are situations, circumstances, dynamics about the relationship where you may or may not understand why is a person involved with this other person. Mm-hmm. And you don't get it because there are clear things that you see maybe as negatives, definitely as things maybe you wouldn't do, subject yourself to, put up with, mm-hmm. but others do. My question is, whether you're talking about a friend, whether you're talking about a family member, whether you're talking about a coworker, whatever the case may be, how do you determine if you interject, you get involved and share your observation or question their motive?
Ooh.
Their motive for why do you endure this, or why do you subject yourself to that, or and let's say it's not anything like physically abusive mm-hmm. or anything like that,
right?
But it could be, it could be like emotional abuse or whatever, mm-hmm. but just situations or circumstances that you don't think is in that person's best interest, mm-hmm. yet they continue to be involved in a relationship mm-hmm. or to pursue a relationship. Mm-hmm. At what point do you say something, or should you?
Okay, if this has always been the way that I handle it. If someone brings it to the table, so if they're discussing it with me, okay, or sharing it with me, then I feel like they've opened the door, okay, for me to make a comment.
Okay. So let's say the door has been opened. Mm-hmm. You've walked in with your comment, with your perspective, mm-hmm. right? And they have heard your perspective, mm-hmm. and things don't change. Mm-hmm. Does the door close? Do you wait for another opportunity for the door open?
I generally try to wait for another opportunity when the person brings it up again. However, I get to a point mm-hmm. where then I say nothing. Because if I've said the same thing over and over again and they're still in that same relationship,
they're not taking.
They're not hearing what I'm saying, or they're not valuing what I'm sharing with them, that's fine. And then I really just say absolutely nothing, However, there does, and it depends on who it is, there will be a time where I will try to make at least one more attempt.
Now, do you make that attempt when the door opens again?
May not
or,
open.
I was going to say, or do you have to Gestapo?
Yeah, I might just kick the door open and say, okay, we need to talk.
Okay.
And especially if it's somebody that I really care about and somebody I really love, and if I think that the situation could be detrimental to their health or their well-being in the long run.
Okay, so let's just say this.
Mm-hmm.
Let's just say it's a situation where you absolutely, positively would not engage in such a relationship or such activity. Mm-hmm. But it's not, quote unquote, anything that is visibly detrimental or I'm just trying to think where it's not anything that's going to cause them harm, but it's just clearly something that's totally against what you think they should be involved in. At what point do you or how do you determine, okay, I just need to stay out of this, or I feel compelled? I mean, at what point do you exercise some restraint and say, you know what? Not my circus, not my monkeys.
Well, take it to God then. Lay it right there at his feet mm-hmm. and say, okay, Lord, here you go. This is something I need you to sort of deal with. And then hopefully they'll bring it up again. And then the door's open.
Okay, what about you? How do you deal with these kind of circumstances and situations with your friends, your loved ones, your family?
Co-workers, whatever.
Yeah. What's the girl say? Love to hear your comments. Until tomorrow, if the Lord says to say.
Have a good evening.